Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. It's tournament time again. Fishbowl Brawl 2v2. Now, if you've been following the content here in the Fish Tank, you will have seen the semi-final and the grand final of the 1v1 tournaments. So, hope you enjoyed those. If you didn't see them, I'll put a link in the description to those so you can check those out. But today we're going to be looking at the 2v2 grand final. This is going to be JF and Dark Crow against SeT and Nerzl. It's going to be best of 5. There's going to be conquest rules, so once you win with a master, neither you or your teammate can play that master going forward. So we should see a good amount of masters today. Now, these guys did play earlier in the match, so in the event at the Swiss format, and JF and Dark Crow took that by 2-0. But both teams would have been able to get some information about what sort of stuff their opponents are going to play. Now, just a quick reminder, I am running my 1v1 and 2v2 Fishbowl Brawl play overtime events that are open to everybody. They start with each new patch, so the current tournaments you can't get in because they're either, well, they're both finished, to be honest. But with the new patch that's coming real soon, there'll be a new tournament, and they're open to everybody of every ability. And they have rewards for everyone. So make sure you check out the links everywhere that you get your Minion Masters news if you're interested in playing in these play overtime events. Okay, so what do we have today? As always, the teams have ban powers. Now, the teams can choose to ban 1 master and 3 cards. That means that their opponents cannot play that master or cards. And of course, their opponents have that ban power to come back. Now, looking at what the teams have banned, we have some very similar bans. Both teams have banned Setsu. Both teams have banned Bounceberry Flingers. Both teams have banned the Rimmergul's Breath. And then JF and Dark Crow have banned the Cleaver. And SeT and Nerzl have banned the Black Hole. So, interesting to see some very similar bans there. Obviously, both appreciating how powerful Setsu can be, especially when they get to that perk 3. Also, the Bounceberry Flingers, of course, the easy way to get a Growth Burst Shroom, so that kind of knocks on the head a lot of the Zen Chi strats. Rimmergul's Breath, very, very strong in duos for sure. Cleaver, we know that's a strong meta card. And interesting to see them playing a Black Hole, so let's see if we get some interesting Black Hole plays. A lot of cool things you can do with the Black Hole. Easy to get value from it in a lot of matchups. But there's more than just avoiding spells that you can do with it. So we'll see if we can see any of those cool plays. Anyway, that's what we've got today. It's grand final time. Let's dive in to game number 1. Right, here we go. JF and Dark Crow, SeT against Nerzl. Mordor and Wrecked against Stormbringer and Ratbo.
I hope you come prepared.
Okay, so we have the dual deck technology. It is a little small, since it is 2v2, but it's the best we can do with it. Okay, so both teams still have the Growth Burst Shroom. This time they're getting it from the Shroomer, as opposed to from the banned Bounceberry Flinger. So we thought maybe we'll have some Zen Chi stuff shut down, but that's definitely not the case to start off with here. So it looks like JF's playing the Mordor, which may well be a ritual deck. Lots of heavy cards. May just be a heavy deck, may be a ritual deck. Let's find out. Nice Glenn's Brew there, keeping Lelo alive. Kind of weird looking at the cards like this because they're different to what we're used to. But it's nice that we can see all of them. Okay, so Mordor, Tombstone is up. Did they have any way, SeT and Nerzl, of shutting that Tombstone down? Do they have any stuns? They did take some damage from on the Tombstone there, from Infray on the back line, so that did reduce the HP of the resurrected unit. Rendrath, we don't see much Rendrath. And when we do, he doesn't really get much value, but interesting to see here, some of the top players in the game deciding to use him. Let's see what they do. So, really important to note that they've played Rendrath defensively, trying to get that value before he gets forward, and then, you know, whatever value he gets then, it's kind of a bonus. Similar to how you play a Cleaver. So Ratbo has the Dagger available now at perk 2, so can get some good value from that potentially. There's the Dagger. It's not going to be particularly powered up, but it's enough to reduce... Oh, unfortunately, tried to save the warrior with the shield there, but the wrecked or the wrecked clone did pop the shield. Okay, here comes a bit of a snowball from that tombstone. Guardian goes down pretty quickly, trying to keep that back line alive. Doing a pretty good job so far. In comes the Scrutillery though and clears the top line. They did use the Glen's Brew there, and I think they may have expected this Scrutillery to be on the Ardera there, but it wasn't. The Glen's Brew, of course, does heal her, and she does do that self-damage, so it does keep her alive for longer. But good lead for Darkrow and JF at the moment from the XP kind of things. Both teams have taken some face damage, but nothing particularly concerning yet. One more push could change that, though. Well, that Cleaver's a little bit misplayed at the top there. Did hit the Scrat instead. Oh, hits another Scrat as well. So that's quite a big misplay there on that Cleaver. That just goes to show how the value that you can get from a unit can be wildly different depending on very small margins when it comes to where you're placing it. Right, XP level. Nice Glen's Brew. That looked like Glen's Brew on the Ardera, but it looked like Ardera was continually attacking through it. Now, it might have been just a visual thing. I'm not sure. We'd have to check that again. Right, Ardera does come back from Rendrath. Or the Daka there on a bat, I think. That's not where they want it. Small XP lead now. One Punch Blast does clear everything at the top. So let's see whose perk 3 really changes the match. That big tombstone could get some big reses. It is active. Looking like we're going to get a Colossus res. No, we get the Azali res at the top there. Ardera clearing the bottom. Tombstone's almost dead. There is a res available, but it were a very low res. Okay, no res. Let's have a look. XP still basically the same. This is going to be real close. Those extra scrats spawning, giving something for the just a little bit of a meat shield at the tower there. Always remember that when you're playing something in the pocket, you're going to get those scrats in the middle. Right, time for the red team to push back. Oh my goodness, the top gets absolutely crushed by the rock and roller. But the Daka's going to come in and absolutely shred that. That's probably the best Daka of the day so far. Decent value coming out from the Blade Star. Blue team still with that small XP lead. This is very close. Doomcleaver not getting any reductions. There's nothing in his hand from the Voidborn family faction to give him any reductions at the moment. Does have Azali now. There we go, reduced cost Azali. This game looks like it's going to go to Mana Frenzy. And Mordor is so strong in Mana Frenzy. Well, that Cleaver's going to get to face though. Maybe we're not going to have a Mana Frenzy game. It looked like we were going to Mana Frenzy, but that Cleaver gets in. Doom Cleaver does a couple of hits to face, and that suddenly changed the direction of the match a little bit. Darkrow and JF getting a lead at the crucial part of the game. Raw dogging the Cleaver there, Colossus there, just to get on the bridge, just to get as much pressure as possible. Mana Frenzy for the blue team. This is super close. SeT and Nerzl need to get their Mana Frenzy, but they're just ticking so slowly towards it with no bridges at the moment. This looks like, even though they only got to Mana Frenzy just before, looks like Darkrow and JF for the blue team are going to have enough of the momentum here, that extra mana. Really giving them these big pushes. Good reses. Very little HP to work with as well for the red team. They've got to be so careful here. Can't really tank anything on base. They're doing a good job holding on, but Stormbringer and Ratbone, not great defensive auto attacks. Artillery comes in, tickles the face a little bit, but that's not going to be the end. This is going to be the end. There we go. Dark Crow and JF take the first game. They're into a 1-0 lead.
Masters, get ready.
Right, game number 2. Apep and Volko against Morelia and Volko. Remember, once you've won with a Master, your team can no longer play that Master. So some restrictions coming in as the games progress. Right, 1-0. Dark Crow and JF leading. Okay, so looks like a very similar deck from JF, apart from it's Apep instead of Mordar from the looks of it. Always a little unsure which player's which. Sometimes they turn around in the replay. So Volko, a very strong master in the meta at the moment. Remember, you get that Rage Ember at perk 1 now. Bridge Burn at perk 2. Rock and Roller comes in, clears everything. Got to be careful with the Rock and Roller because it can't take a bridge until it's finished rolling and become a golem. So you do see a lot of people roll too far over the bridge and end up not getting it. So top tip there. Golem doing some good face damage. Once it gets raged, if it gets raged, that thing can be an absolute nuisance. Okay, Ritual at the top, not ideal. Doesn't get the bridge. A little bit frustrating. But we have a lot of real big DPS units from JF. And of course, Volko's Rage is going to make them fairly terrifying. Right, big beam. Big beam. But there... It is saved. The Doom Cleaver is saved. Nice. Tanking on the shield. Doom Cleaver was saved by the Glens Brew. So nice little bit of interplay there. The decent XP lead for SeT and Nerzl. Losing the first game, but can they fight back here? Defenso Chopper's going to be a good answer to the Reckonator for sure. I don't think the Reckonator even touched it, but it might explode and do a lot of damage to it. So that actually didn't work out ideal. It was the right counter, but it wasn't actually, turned out it wasn't actually necessary. But again, Rendrath. What can Rendrath do? He has marked the Fergus. The Fergus will come back. But what more value can Rendrath get? Remember, Fergus is going to come back, but it will be half health, half DPS, and it will be cursed. But it's going to be kind of annoying to deal with. So actually some okay value there. Nice combination of the Bridge Burn. Oh, the Bridge Burn takes out the Rocket Scrat as well. That was a mistake from the red team. Playing it a little bit too early, losing their Bridge Grab. Okay, again, Fergus clearing the bottom. Impetus Blast pushed him away. Didn't push him too far away, though. Got stuck on the edge of the arena for a while there. So he was able to come back quickly and finish the job. Double heal from Morelia does soften those monkeys a little bit at the top there. If you've watched my meta video for this season, you'll see that Fergus is very meta out there. Very strong unit in a lot of matchups, and especially in the Shruma Mashumi matchups that we've seen a lot of. Oh, I feel like that was a bit of a mistake with the Bridge Burn there, because it did kill the Fergus before Rendrath was able to mark it. Remember, the mark is permanent, so even though Rendrath dies, anything that's marked will come back once it perishes. Right, perk 3 for the red team. Can SeT and Nerzl level this up? 1 game all. Reckonator goes in. We saw it get quite shredded last time, didn't really get too much. Of course, you want to deal with it in a way that doesn't lock that bridge down for a while. Right, perk 3 now. That is Berserker Rage for any melee units to pick up the Ember, including that Colossus at the top. So, got to be really careful what that hits, because that's going to leave a mark. Difficult to deal with the Colossus as well, because it does seem to hit sort of almost everywhere around it. Looks like he got one hit off on the dragon. It wasn't aggroed on the dragon though, so it did then turn around on another target. But the AoE did hit it. But look at the HP dropping. 773 HP. That dragon's kind of melting a little bit. Got to be so careful with the Berserker Rage. Now, that dragon's going to get Rage. Remember, the dragon, Nivir, is a ranged unit, so it only gets regular Rage, not Berserker Rage. Cleanse Brew, just to keep it alive. Also locks it on the bridge as well, so XP is always a nice thing to have. Oh, and there you see at the bottom there, I mentioned about the mistakes where you can roll the Rock and Roller straight over the bridge and not actually get it. Darkrow and JF making that mistake. Didn't really change too much, but it did slow down their taking of the bridge, which when things are super close on XP, those just few ticks of XP can make all the difference. But they need to deal with this Troubadour. Shen's going to be a perfect counter to that. Troubadour's not going to get to face. They are low HP, so they do have to be careful. Hey. Like a bit of mana being burnt there. Wanted to play in the pocket. Now comes the push at the bottom with the monkeys. Burgers is going to do a great job against that. Does have to be Glenn's Brood. Is he going to survive? No, he's not. Just too much damage from that Berserker Rage. Oh, this is going to be scary. A Darkrow and JF going to take the second game here. Managed to not get hit by that K, but that's important. 170 HP. This is real close at the bottom there. Scrutillery comes in. That's going to do face damage. Remember, Morelia can heal from her spellbook, so there's the opportunity that they can heal. Need to be real careful with anything touching them at the moment. Spellbook's not available yet, though. Okay, Spellbook's available after this. Mana Frenzy for both teams at the moment. Here comes the heal. Oh, the heal! They missed the heal on both of the units. Remember, if the units do die before the heal goes off, you get nothing. That could be a huge problem. Remember, they do have the Scrutillery to do some face damage. That missed heal could be crucial, but it might be irrelevant because the blue team do have the bridges kind of on lockdown at the moment. Deciding not to Scrutillery face, could that be a mistake? There comes the heal. That's the double heal. No, single heal. Looked like it was a double heal, but the Woodsman died just before the heal went off. So 100 HP, but did they make a mistake by not going face? You've got to be careful going face against Morelia, because if you don't kill them, you end up just putting... Oh my god, that Caber hits face from so far away. Scrutillery comes in. That's 2-0. Darkrow and JF, 2-0 up.
Masters, get ready.
Okay, here we go. Game 3. SeT and Nerzl have to win here, or it's going to be game over. And they do it. Can they start the fight back? Okay, so Morelia, Diona against Morelia and Volko. And again, looks like they may be sticking with the same decks, at least from the blue side, just switching masters, which of course you can do. The restriction from the Conquest rules is only about what masters you can play. We know we've seen SeT in a lot of solo tournaments. He really does like playing the same deck, just changing masters up. Could be doing something similar here. Or the range on the Caber there, not quite there. The Revelry does reload him though. And Rendreth gets in, gonna get a Fergus. Probably won't get too much more. Oh, the Spirit on the Rendreth, though. That's going to change things particularly. Oh, the Impetus Blast pushed out of the beam. That was a mistake. Bit of miscommunication there from the red team. Got to be careful when you're using your spells, especially when they have movements like that. They can really count against you. Right. Tanking this on face. Deciding that's the best option. But they're going to take another hit as well. That's 600 damage, plus more coming in from Rendreth. That's a lot of damage that could have been avoided. But of course, if you avoid face damage, you're going to put that damage onto your minions instead. So that's where the mana efficiency may or may not happen. Right. XP about the same. A lot of face damage on the red team, though. that come back and haunt them. Remember, SeT and Nerzl need to take this game to prolong the semi-finals, sorry, the grand final, to give themselves a chance. But this is going to be a lot of face damage. Fergus is going to be difficult to deal with. Shen's in there as well. This is huge face damage. Trying to keep the pressure on the bridge. That's a good Scrutillery, takes the bridge. But that's huge face damage there. The combination of Shen plus Fergus. It's a great beam as well. Okay, have the red team suddenly put themselves in a position here. SeT and Nerzl ahead on XP, and they've done a lot of face damage. Would they be fighting back? Let's find out. Right, Colossus. I don't think that Colossus was quite positioned properly. He's going to take 2 swings. That means he takes more damage. Takes longer to take the bridge. Didn't like that hugely. Okay. Annihilator just survives 1 bit of wood, not the second. You can see the forest for the trees there. Fergus is going to clear a lot of this up. Darkrow and JF, 841 HP left. That was one huge amount of damage from one push, and they cannot afford for that to happen again. Right, Rendraf's going to get this Fergus. Does he get anything else? Not really. Might get a Marine or so, but nothing of note. A small lead at the moment for the red team. Not an amazing beam there. Ruffles comes in. Oh, Ruffles is defended with the Diona Taunt Trap. Does pick up that 2 mana. Nice little play. Got to be quick to do that because they were spear throwers and they will attack quickly. Right, perk 3 for the red team. They do have their dragon near the Fallen available. Both teams should have a dragon. Right. Normally you don't want to play your dragon first in a matchup between the two. Let's see. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, that exploding Reconator there actually doing a lot of damage. Killing the Fergus as well, which could be crucial. Right. Let's see how they handle this dragon. Right, deciding to keep the dragons away from each other. Waiting for the Masters to get in range of the dragon, so they get that Master DPS to help shred it. Rock and Roller comes in, clears the backline. That's nicely done. And the red dragon melts. And could that change things? Blue dragon pushing at the top, still 50% HP. Doesn't pick up the rage at all from a bridge, so that's kind of frustrating. Okay, it's always difficult to use the trap on Fergus because of his AoE attack, but... Oh, okay, that could be crucial, that hit at the end there. The beam is not great. Again, we've seen a couple of missed beams. The first one was missed because of the Impetus Blast. That one just wasn't quite targeted correctly. That could really cost them. It's a huge bridge burn at the top, though. Both teams very low on HP, really. But XP's the order of the day right here, and the red team are almost getting to their Mana Frenzy. But they have so little HP to play with. They have to tank the Rendrath here, but they've got to be careful not to let that Rendrath mark anything of value. And they did a good job with that. Right, Mana Frenzy super close. Are we going to get an Ember on that Colossus at the top? Not yet. Right, Mana Frenzy for the blue team. Almost Mana Frenzy, sorry, for the red team. Almost Mana Frenzy for the blue team. Right, Mana Frenzy for both. Somehow JF and Darkrow caught up at the end there. Over a long way down. Are they going to come from behind and close this tournament out? They're looking in a strong position at the moment. Glensbrew misplayed at the top there. Ended up on a Scrat instead of the Shield Guard. That could be painful. Right. Red team fighting back. Huge caber there. Do they get another one? No, it dies too quickly. Berserker Rage and the ranged minions just murdering it. And it looks like maybe the red team are coming back. SeT and Nerzl, are they going to make a fight out of this? And again, the rock and roller rolls all the way over the bridge. Bridge doesn't get taken. And really, really crucial at this time is every bit of bridge interaction. And Shen's going to shut down that fan rail. This looks like it's going to be SeT and Nerzl fighting back. They got a little heal there just to make them feel a little more comfortable. But I think this is going to be too much. Beam comes in. Fergus is ready to go again. 2-1. SeT and Nerzl fighting back. Game on. Right, here we go. Game number 4. This is going to be the final game, or a SeT and Nerzl going to force a decider. Let's find out. So what do we have? Morelia and Milloween against Stormbringer and Ratbo. Looks like SeT and Nerzl have gone back to their opening strat. Game number 1. Didn't work out for them there, but different matchup this time. Game number 1 was Mordor and Wrecked, I think, for the blue team. So different matchup here. Really nice Blade Star. Shroomer getting just far enough forward to split. It does look like the Shroomer buff doesn't actually... I mean, if you look at how much HP the Shroomers have when they split, it doesn't look like it went through. Looks like they're still at 80%. Right, nice Impetus Blast there. Oh, they did a great job there keeping that Lady and Frey alive. Combination of the Walking Blind Day plus the Taunt from the Divine Warrior. Lady and Frey still alive, and she's a real strong backline unit. Battle Monkey going absolutely crazy at the bottom there. Nice stun, though, coming in from the Zenshi Flow Jinlong. Okay, some good interactions coming through here. Oh, good Blade Star. And it looks like there's going to be a problem for SeT and Nerzl shutting down that Cage Prowler. Looks like it may be able to spawn at will. It's a real strong card for sure. Right. Oh, goodness. Is that going to go off? Yes, it is. Cleaver comes. They got kind of unlucky, but it worked out anyway in the end. The Barrel Shield doing exactly what it needed to do. Right. Darkrow and JF having an XP lead at the moment. Grand final. Poised at 2-1. If the blue team, Darkrow and JF, take this one, they will be the champions. If Net and Zerzl, if they take this one, then they'll force a decider. Right, Battle Monkey getting some good value at the top. It's going to get shut down eventually by the Shen, one assumes. There it goes. Remember, the Shen can only do damage to stunned units, so if it's alone like that, it has to stun and then attack, so he's doing damage every second attack. Nice poison. But a little bit unlucky there, the red team. We saw a little skeleton get pushed onto the bridge and take it. Darkrow doing a great job with the Blade Star. You get rebalanced, does a little bit more damage per hit, but there's a limit on the number of hits it can do. Again, the Cleaver. So SeT and Nerzl really, they don't have any real good way, if at all, of shutting down the Sacrifice or the Cage Prowler. So that's easy value for Darkrow and JF. Not sure what that Scrutillery was on. Didn't quite see what was in the pocket there. But a decent XP lead for Darkrow and JF at the moment. Neither side has taken much face damage, so that's not a concern for either of them yet. But here we see the Growth Burst Shroom, Battle She-Howl, absolutely clearing everything at the top there. Super, super strong. Looks like he's going to get a little HP nerf in the upcoming patch. Not confirmed, but it was in the PTR. And he's very, very strong, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Thumbs up there. Nice Blade Star clearing everything. Scrutillery in the pocket. Oh, it's not quite targeted correctly again, I don't think. Impetus to pull Lady and Frey out. She is alive for a while. Big shot coming off. Oh, they use the Glen's Brew just before her big shot. A piercing shot. Every third shot is a piercing shot. Worked out in the end, but a good XP lead for the blue team. And here comes Nerzl. Now, SeT and Nerzl, or whoever is playing the Ratbo, would love to get a great Daka on the dragon here. We haven't really seen a good Daka. It's a difficult skill to use when there's a lot of things around and when your opponents are trying to play around them. And there we see again, no way to shut down that sacrifice. The Daka did land on the dragon. They were patient, did some decent damage, but it's still fairly solid. Big golem in there as well, plus the cleaver. And this is looking like a really scary push right now. And even if SeT and Nerzl can hold this, they're going to be a long, long way down on XP if they clear this. Right, Battle Monkey's going ham. Gets stunned in there. Shen shutting that down. And this push continues. And all the time, JF and Dark Crow are just farming the XP. A little unlucky with the sacrifice there. But, you know, sometimes you just have to play that. And that Battle Monkey's going crazy on face. Needs to be shut down. It's going to be pushed away. But then it's going crazy. Oh, great. Oh, the Battle Monkey's still alive. He's still going. Oh, this is game, I think, here. Dark Crow and JF well ahead on XP. They're going to close out the game. And that's Dark Crow and JF taking the grand final by 3-1. GG. There we have it. The first grand final of the inaugural Fishbowl Brawl 2v2. And we saw JF and Dark Crow. They dominated the event. They won every match. And that continued all the way through to the grand final, beating SeT and Nerzl by 3-1 there. It looked like SeT and Nerzl were going to start to fight back, but ultimately it wasn't to be. But very well played to all the players involved. Some top skilled play there. And of course, if you're looking to get some good decks, then, you know, check out the video, go back in the VOD, check to see what they were using, and get some ideas. So really well played to everyone involved. Thanks for being part of the event. And of course, just a reminder that the next 1v1 and 2v2 Fishbowl Brawls will be starting soon with the new season. The registration will open, so keep your eyes out for that. And of course, a reminder that they are available and open and welcoming to everybody of all abilities. So lots of fun can be had and prizes for all. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm BadAsFish80, and as always, I'm awkwardly waving.